How's it going? I'm Jagger Langell. I work on the maintenance side of the crew. So basically, this is our third property of the day. We've did a cut, trim, blow on it. So what that means is we'll go up, trim all the sides, make sure they're all nice and edged to the very edge of the driveway. Make sure all of our lines are very straight when we're cutting to make it presentable. Basically clean up any sticks, leaves, any debris that's left on the property from any of the tree droppings. So this is one of our premiums, which means we do all garden beds, make sure all edges are trimmed and edged with our edger. So that means we also do a big cleanup on the property, make sure there's no debris anywhere as well. Our standard properties, we don't usually touch the garden beds. We'll just do a quick trim with the trimmer to make sure we have a good edge, but we don't really touch too much of the garden beds on our standard properties. So we just finished up with this one. Basically, we got probably 10 properties left. As soon as we get to one property, we cut, trim, blow, make sure everything's clean at the end. We'll basically rinse and repeat. Like we do 10 different properties a day, so we'll have to go to each one, make sure it's all cut, make it looking nice, and then we'll go to the next property, do the same thing, until they're all done. And then basically we could be done at 5, it could be done at 7 o'clock at night. It's just whenever the job's done, right? So whenever all properties are finished is when we're done for the day. So on some properties we get these high edges over the driveway. So when I'm going over it with the mower, sometimes you gotta see if it's gonna scalp it or not. So I might have to raise the mower a little bit, or I'll just make sure the wheels don't go onto the driveway. I'll go over it, and then I'll get Lee, my coworker, to come over with the trimmer and get the rest that I haven't cut, just so I make sure I'm not scalping any of the edges when I'm going over any the high spots that are over the driveway. If you do go on the driveway when there's a high spot, you're gonna scalp the whole grass, and it's gonna look yellow or even right down to the dirt. And you don't want that, right? Because it's gonna dry out the grass and it's gonna die, and you don't want it to be looking dead or anything. You want it to be looking nice and green all the way throughout the grass. So the premium maintenance, we make sure all garden beds are touched up nice. We do all the hedging, make sure all these cedars are nice and hedged up, looking nice and square and even. Make sure there's any extra growing clippings coming out that aren't looking good, over the driveway or anything, we'll take those off. Any tree limbs that are hanging over the driveway, we'll clip those off as well. But for our standard properties, we basically just do a quick cut, trim, blow. So basically it's just cutting, trimming everything, all the edges, and then blowing everything off, making sure it's all clean. So my favorite part is basically, when we come here, sometimes the properties aren't looking too good. There's sticks everywhere, debris. We put our bag on the lawnmower to make sure it's picking up everything. We clean it up nice, By the time we're leaving, it looks like a brand new property, looks like it's been maintained well, looks like it's been maintained every single day, even if it's just like a fresh spring cleanup or something, If you're edging along the driveway, you also don't want to go too deep in the grass, because then you're going to go off the driveway and you're going to have a huge gap in between your grass and your driveway, which is going to leave a bunch of mud trails and stuff like that. You don't want that. You want it to be flush against the driveway all the way along. You don't want any indents or anything. You want it to be nice and straight and look as straight as the driveway is all the way down. For the edging, it's got a huge blade on it. It spins around, and we'll go line up with the edge with it, and it'll dig down just along the edge where the driveway and the grass meets, and it'll make a nice smooth edge along here. And then we'll pick up all the debris, and then we'll come along with the trimmer, and it's called flip trimming it, which will flip the trimmer around, and then you can do like a flat line trim, it's called. And then you can just go straight across the grass with it like this, and it'll make a nice smooth edge and make it look like it's brand new. Every day we got to make sure we're having our safety glasses on and our steel toe boots, because you never want to run a lawnmower over your feet and get your toes chopped off, or something flinging in your eye when you're using a trimmer. There's always stuff flying everywhere, or a blower. As soon as you blow something to a corner, it's always flowing back at you. So you got to make sure you got to have your safety glasses on, so you're not getting nothing in your eye, because that's terrible. I've had something in my eye and I had to get it drilled out, and I had to go to the hospital. It's not worth it. You want to work the rest of the day, have a safe environment while you're working. Sometimes we'll have clients come out and they want certain things chopped off, or certain things weeded, or certain beds dug up and looking nice, or some mulch turned over so it looks fresh. So whenever they ask us, of course we'll do it for them, whatever they ask. Sometimes if we're not too sure what the client wants, we'll go knock on their door, have a nice chat with them, make sure that what we're about to do to their lawn and what we're about to do to their garden beds is exactly what they want done. You know, we don't want them doing something that they don't want done and then them coming out after and, you know, have us having to go over it again and stuff. We want to make sure it's done the first time. Doesn't matter how, if it's a standard or a premium, we come to the same properties every single week and make sure they're all maintained every single week on the same day. So today's Thursday, we'll be at this property every Thursday.